All right. Happy Friday. Happy Spring Friday. Um, let's get to it here. So, you already kind of know how well you understand this material because your Google Doc already graded itself. So, let me help you understand the ones that you got wrong. So, a lot of people make the mistake starting at A. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to count the cubes. And it's true, volume is the total number of cubes. However, there's something called mental error, which is just like human mistake. And your chance of getting it wrong by miscounting goes up a lot if you try to count the cubes because there's hidden cubes, right? There's cubes that we don't see anything of. Like if you look at this cube right here, think about the ones in its row. You don't even see those. Or this one you see twice. This one you see 3 times, right? So it's very easy to make a mistake and either count a cube more times than you're supposed to, or not count a cube that's there. So instead, when you have an object like this that you're finding the total volume of, what I always tell students is first find the area of the top, pretending that it's flat, okay? So the area of the top would be 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4. And 3 by 4 is 12. And you can count it, and you can count 3, 6, 9, 12. Now, once you find the area of the top, you find how many cubes are in one layer. So now all you have to do is multiply that by how many layers? 1, 2, 3, 4. So each layer has 12, and 12 times 4 is 48. A different way to explain it is by using the formula. The formula is length times width, length, which is 4, times width, which is 3, and then multiply that answer by the height. The height is 4. Length times width times height equals volume. Converting 2 1/3. I'm really hoping at this point, after working on this Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, plus it was an idea that we learned a while back. I'm really hoping that everyone in the class got this one right. The way you want to look at it is like you have 2 whole whatever, it could be pizzas, it could be donuts, it could be dollars, it could be whatever. You have 2 wholes, and then you also have a little tiny third of a whole. So you have more than 2 and less than 3. But the question is, how many total thirds do you have if you wanted to exchange them in for thirds? Well, let's think about it like this. You have 2 wholes, 1, 2, and each whole is worth 3/3. So therefore, you have 3/3, 3/3, and 1/3. So you have a total of 7/3. And the formula for this, whenever you turn a mixed number into an improper fraction, the formula is multiply the denominator by the whole number, 6, and then add the top number. That's how you get your 7. And then you always keep the fraction's name, which is the denominator, the same, 7/3. All right, now let's move on to everybody's favorite. I'm going to put a line right here because the 2 conversions for inches to feet and yards to feet are different from meters to millimeters, because meters to millimeters uses that system called the metric system. So let me switch my camera here. KHD blank DCM, and this will help us convert. So we're starting with meters because right now we have 2,300 meters. So we're starting, most people want to say we're starting there. But remember, that's not meters, that's milli. That's milli. So because the system is meters instead of liters or grams, everything gets an M attached. So this would be MM over here. So we're starting right here with 2,300 of them, and we are going to move it into 1, 2, 3 into millimeters. So we're moving right 1, 2, 3 spots, right 3 spots. And then if we take our number 2,300, if this turned into decimeters, it would be 23,000. If this turned into centimeters, it would be 230,000. But when it turns into millimeters, it's, here's the decimal, right? Because it's a whole number. Move it over 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2,300,000. So that is your answer. Next one, we are starting with 48 inches and going to feet. So I like to do the old double blinker. We're going from inches to feet. On the left, I'm going to put what I have right now, or I'm sorry, on the left, I'm going to put what I know. I know 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. I know 12 inches equals 1 foot. On the right, I'm going to put what I have. Right now, I have 48 inches. Do you have two numbers apart where we can study their relationship? Yeah. We have 12 inches, and we want to get to 48. So how many 12s makes 48? Sounds like division. How many 12s are in 48? Well, 12, 24, 36, 48. The answer is 4. So that means if you have 4 of these, you also have 4 of these. So therefore, your answer is 4 feet. The answer there is 4 feet. You're basically just saying how many 12s are in 48. Each 12 makes a foot. And then you have 1.5 yards. And you are going to switch that into feet. Well, let's do our double blinker. We are going with feet and yards. And remember, it doesn't matter which one you put on top or bottom. It really doesn't. I know the relationship is 1 yard equals 3 feet. That's what I know the relationship is. And I know right now I have 1.5 yards, so I want to put it on the bottom. And I don't know feet. Do we have two numbers across from each other we could study? Sure, we do right here. How many 1s are in 1.5? Sounds like division. 1.5 divided by 1. Oh wait, anything divided by 1 is itself. So it's times 1.5. 1 times 1.5 equals 1.5. Do it to the bottom, do it to the top. Ooh, what's 3 times 1.5? Well, remember, whenever you multiply fractions, you have to turn it into a numerator and denominator. So 3 would be 3 over 1 times 1.5. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So 1.5 equals 3 halves. Now I can multiply across. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 2 is 2. And then I could turn this into a mixed number. It takes 2 halves to make a whole. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8. Do you have anything left over? Yeah, 8 means I still have 1 left over. So the answer is 4.5 feet. All right, this one I'm sure people got frustrated with. So it's an irregular shape. We're finding the volume. The first thing that you want to do is cut it. Well, it looks like they already cut it for us. Cut it right here. Now we got to make sure that we have everything that we need. Well, this is 4 by 6. That means this is 4 by 6. 4 times 6 is 24. So this has an area of 24. The top has an area of 24, and then remember that's just a flat surface. So the 24 is only this surface, but the 24 goes up and down with a height of 5. And 24 times 5 is 120. How do you know that? Because 24 times 10 is 240. 5 is half of 10. So this volume is 120. Now I got to find this volume, and you know, they're trying to trick us. They want us to multiply 7 by 2, but if we multiplied 7 by 2, we'd cut off this whole part right here, and then this part would just be a question mark. We don't want to do that. So what we want to do is we want to multiply this whole side by whatever this is. Oh, I know what this is. This is equal to this, so it's 2. We want to multiply 2 by this side. We know this is 7. But how can we figure out what this is to add to 7? Oh, because it's equal to this, which is equal to this. So this is 4, and this is 7. Aha. So the whole thing is 11. That part, I bet you, is what tricked everybody. This whole length is 11. 11 times 2 is 22. So the top has an area of 22. And then 22 goes up and down. Ooh, another missing number. This is missing, but it's equal to this, which is equal to this, which is equal to this, which is equal to this. Oh, it's 5. So 22 times 5 is 110. Well, how do you know that? Because 22 times 10 is 220. Half of 220 is 110. So now I just have to add those two up to get my answer. $230. That is our answer. All right. Now let's get into today's review. And I say review because I'm not giving you anything new today. We're just going to focus on what we've learned this week. Well, actually, we're just focusing on volume. So I'll show you again how to do this. The first thing that you want to do is you want to find, a lot of the times I always tell you to find the base, okay? But in all reality, you don't have to find the base first. You just have to find a face, the area of a face. So here, it's 12 by 6. 12 by 6 is 72. But if we have 72, that only is a number that represents the bottom flat area. We want this to be three-dimensional. So we want to multiply 72 by how high the dimension is. Then we'd have a number that represents the whole thing, 72 times 8. So we take our 72, multiply by 8. Let's see if I can do lattice method with this. 16, 56, 6, 7, 5. So that answer is 576. Now you try. You're going to multiply to find the area of the bottom, and then multiply that by 8. You try on this one. When you think you have the answer, unpause it. Here I go trying to find the answer. I'm going to find the bottom part first, which is 6 times 3, which is 18. And then I'm going to take 18 and I'm going to multiply it by the height. The height is 4. Answer's A, 72. Now you got this difficult one, though. So the first thing that we must do, we got to cut it. For some reason, I always like cutting it up and down. But you didn't have to. You could have cut it right here. And then you have a little box on top of a big box. I cut it in a way that there's a small box, a thin box next to more of a cube. All right, so they highlight this saying, hey, find this first. You can, but we don't have to. I usually like to find whatever is on the bottom, right? So if I could see through this figure, that would be the base. And if that's the base, it's always equal to the one on top if it's a regular figure. So I know this is 4, so I know this is 4, right? How do I know that? Because if you looked at this like it's a flat shape, it'd be a rectangle, right? If you looked at it straight on, it's a flat shape, it'd be a rectangle. What do we know about rectangles? They have 2 equal parts, right? And if this is 15, then this would be 15. So we know this is 4. And we know this is equal to this. And since this is a rectangle, this is equal to this. But we don't know what this is, do we? Ah, Mr. Stahl, we do know what it is. Why? Because I broke it into this regular shape. So this is 9. So this would be 9. And if this is 9, 9 plus what equals 15? 9 plus 6. And if this is 6, that means this is 6. See, you got to be a detective to figure this stuff out. 6 times 4 is 24. So the area of the top is 24. And you're going to multiply 24 by 15. Because that's how high up and down it goes. So that's 360. So this has a volume of 360. Now I got to look at this one. Well, this is 9, but do we know what this one is? Ooh. Well, this is equal to this invisible one over here. And this invisible one's equal to this one. And this one's equal to this one. And this one's equal to, aha, I found it. It's equal to 4. 4 times 9 is 36. So 36 would be the area of the top. And 36 gets multiplied up and down by 9. $324. So now, if this is this figure, and this is this figure, I just have to add those together to figure out what my total figure is. $684. But I almost forgot. Cubic feet, because it's a volume. All right, one more. You try, and then I show you the answer. Okay, pause it. And then when you want to see the answer, unpause it. See how you did. I'm going to cut mine right here. Okay. This one's pretty easy. We know that the bottom is 7 by 7. So the bottom base is 49. And 49 goes up and down. Ooh, I wanted to say 8. I wanted to say 8, but the way I cut it, it goes up and down only 5. Right? So 49 times 5 be half of 490. $245. So this whole thing has a volume of 245 because it's 7 by 7 by 5. Now I got to find the top one. I don't know this one, but I know that it's equal to this one, which is equal to this one, which is equal to this one, which is equal to 7. So I can find the area now. 5 times 7 is 35. So the area of the top's 35. I got to figure out what this is. Ooh, I know that if the whole thing's 8 and the bottom part's 5, 5 plus 3 equals 8, so that has to be 3. So 35 times 3 is 105. Now all I have to do is add them together. 245, 105, 350 cubic units. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you at 10:30.